this practice, we can't hear you if you're talking, Debbie. So something's
No, I didn't even know I was back on the screen, and I was just sharing this out to my page.
Oh,
And
I thought you were ready to come back. I'm sorry.
no, not even a thing. What happened is my cordless keyboard had my cat Bella. She knocked it on the floor upstairs in the bedroom, and it was anyway.
So you're good now. We can hear you. We can see you. You look great. I love anybody that can rock a Santa hat and a tiara at the same time simultaneously. That's a superpower. Anyway, so we're talking about my ego, and that I would put people through the program, and even though the program was divinely delivered, the one coaching it is me, the imperfect human, teaching the program. And so I had a vested interest in wanting people to graduate and be really successful. I wanted everyone to manifest everything they wanted with this practice.
Absolutely.
And I still like to see people be successful that have come through. Well, now we've had hundreds of graduates come through all over the world over 5+ years.
Correct.
And has over the course of all of these people, of course, we have all these success stories. You can go on Trustpilot and see all our success stories, but sometimes people drop out. Not very often, but sometimes people drop out. And they just can't do it. They just can't get through and they drop out, and we usually don't hear from them again. And, I don't like it when that happens, but it happens. It's just part of doing this. And then one time I had somebody that got all the way to graduation and was disappointed with the results. And I have to say, while this person was in boot camp, and I love this story because to me, it's just hilarious. They went from working in a clothing store to getting a record deal. While they're in boot camp. And I'm like, okay, you were working in a clothing store. You had no record deal. You shifted your vibration. I did not do this for them. They got in and did the work and did it for themselves. And they manifested this record deal. And I'm so sorry that you didn't think you got everything that, you should have gotten from it. I think you're doing great. Most people would love to have a record deal and, that love to sing and, see you around. Have a good life. And it's their choice whether they want to stay in our world or not. And a lot of people get into our alumni group and they're very active, and I love keeping in touch with them. I've lost touch with this person. So I'm still friends with them on Facebook. There's no bad blood or anything like that. It's just, he didn't feed my ego the way that I wanted him to.
Well, Jiminy.
Well, here's what happened today, though. I go on Facebook and there he is with David Foster and Catherine McPhee.
Which are who?
David Foster is a very, 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 very famous composer. Gosh, I'm trying to think of like the Dionne Warwick song, all of those. I mean, he writes songs for all of the biggest, Whitney Houston. Okay. Huge. And he's married to Catherine McPhee, who was on American Idol. She's very talented. So just, in the music industry,
that's a big
this
deal.
is the top of the pyramid in the music industry. Wow. And he's like singing on stage with them and pictures with them. Now, what happened after boot camp that got him there? I don't know. It may have nothing to do with Taya, but I have to say it brought me a lot of satisfaction, whether he is in my world or not, to see one of our graduates doing so well to be pictured with David Foster. So I was laughing at myself today. I posted a little screen capture of that in the alumni group and said, look what Taya alumni, this person is doing. And everybody really liked it, thought it was funny. But it did remind me how much my ego needed for people to be successful coming out of that program. And that human part of me still does. And the reason that I'm saying my ego is because what I have come to understand in all of my lifetime of channeling what I call source, and I will always say, we all channel source. I am not blessed. I am not special. I am not Jesus. I'm not saying anything like that. We all channel source in our own way. I do think I have a nice ability to write it and speak it and get my ego out of it. And that's what I'm all about, is getting my ego out of it, getting religion out of it, getting everything out of it and letting it flow. And the reason that I can tell you that I believe I channel source when I channel the stream is because I get from the stream that there is no judgment. And when I say no judgment, I mean no specific desire for us to have a specific experience. So, having successful graduates from the program or someone getting a record deal, that's an ego driver or ego-driven desire. And there's nothing wrong with that. We're here to have ego-driven desires and have this life journey with those desires. But Source says expansion of consciousness is the name of the game. And expansion of consciousness is achieved in every and any experience. So the victims of the most horrific atrocities are having an experience. The creators of the things that we prize mostly as human beings is an experience. Everything in between that, in our opinion, is also an experience. A rather dull, boring life of not anything very eventful one way or the other. That's an experience.
It
So
is.
according to source, no bad experiences. According to source, everything is expansion of consciousness, and that's why we're really here. That's why bad things happen in our world, and you have a source creator that allows those things to happen, because source isn't judging anything as bad or good. I know we're all taught religion, and we're all taught that God will bless you, or whatever your version of that is, if you behave in a certain way and you get this prize at the end. I get that, and it's a belief system, and that's fine for anybody to
Did you
have.
say you get a prize at the end?
You know what I'm talking about.
Like Jack in the Box? Like no, like the Cracker Jacks?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a common theme in religions, right? You get rewarded at the end if you behave the way we tell you to behave while you're physical. And it's a belief system, and we all operate on a belief system. We all do. And that was something when I tried to strip away human belief systems for myself, I realized we just default into something else, whether it's science or politics or consumerism or hedonism or whatever it is, that we fall into a belief system that we operate our lives with. And that's why I decided to create a belief system, strip away all of the ego stuff, or at least acknowledge it and know what it is, and move ourselves more and more into a source-like being without needing to be perfect, because we're not going to do that. That's why I like to tell you about my ego stuff all the time, because hey, I'm not preaching perfection here, or that you're ever going to become a perfect human being with this practice or anything else. We're going to be flawed beings no matter what.
I love that. And I love my flawed. I love
Oh
my
yeah.
I love my everything. Sort of
You are really experiencing happiness when you can love all of it. The whole
I
spectrum.
love, and today was shit. Today was sheet.
Tell us about your sheet day.
Today was shit. I promise you all. It was shit. Can I just tell you? So for 3 days now, since Monday, I have not been doing well. It's like a flu. And I chose to view this as, with my friend David Reed Watson, as just a release and just allowing, because I mean, last night was so bad that just my body was just detoxing out. And I meant postmenopausal and stuff. Well, come to find out, he is doing the same thing. I'm like, okay, I was feeling just ew. And I was talking to you yesterday about that, remember?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, Debbie took me to this. I don't want to get into all the specifics of it unless you do, but took me to this sort of DNA linked list of things that I should be consuming and shouldn't be consuming. And she gets all geeked out about this stuff, and I don't.
I so do.
You get so geeked out about it. I love that you do. And I got this whole list of stuff I'm not supposed to consume, and I consume most of it. So
and
she's like, and for $700, this doctor will tell you and work up. I'm like, I'm not paying a doctor $700 to tell me not to consume a bunch of stuff that I'm going to consume anyway.
You are so funny. I love that. So I'm going to
for not $700. I can just be aware of it and say, oh well, I'm still going to do it.
Totally. Well, we'll talk about that later, because I'm going to be the guinea pig, and I'm going to take some steps, and we're going to see how that all unfolds.
Yeah, and if you start really feeling spectacular and I'm still lethargic, then maybe I'll pay more attention.
Let me check that out. But yesterday it's like I am not willing to settle for anything. That make me look like a bee every once in a while. But I'm also not willing to settle, because I deserve the best. That includes my health. And literally, there's been some things that have been coming at me, like, oh, just take a look at this, Well, I go down these rabbit holes, and I get so excited, because if there's a little tiny tweak here and a little tiny tweak there that we can do, oh heck, I'm going to be 100% about it. So It's just one of my favorite
Yeah,
things
it's
to
just
do.
what you're yeah, and I love that about
Well,
I'm not like that, but
so
I love that about you. I love that about you.
but, you know, it's
I'm
a
not I'm
joke.
not medically disciplined that way for that stuff.
Doctor
I
can
went to
tell me.
physical, I had back surgery. Those of you that are watching, I had
Ah,
back surgery in October. I'm recovering from that still. I feel a million times better than I did. And I am definitely one who will now I feel better. So okay, I just need to get back to life as usual. And then my body will let me know that no, you're not quite ready for that. But the physical therapist asked, she said, "Are you still wearing the back brace?" No, I wore that for like 2 weeks. Like, no, I'm not. And she kind of gave me that judgmental look. I said, no, I'm not wearing the back brace. I'm good. Everything's good. I'm healing great. My belief system carries me through. And it was enough that I did the surgery. And that was a good experience for me. I'm not going to run around in a back brace for months on end. No, that's not happening.
no. We are so in charge of our bodies. And the reason I'm so excited about DNA is because we are in control of that by our environment, or mostly our thoughts. That's called epigenetics. We all know what that is.
Yeah, I think I have a belief where my thoughts can supersede what science is telling me.
Absolutely. And that is epigenetics. That's Bruce Lipton all day long. That's Greg Braden all day long. That is truly we send signals into our cells which respond based upon our thoughts. They're proving this so scientifically now you can't get away from it. But when I say I absolutely 100% have my boundaries in life, that includes doctors, includes anything. If I'm not in my truth, David, if I'm not truly working my tools, what'll happen is I'll start seeing what's wrong with everyone else, or so I think.
Well, that's a
That
deflection. You don't want to hold yourself accountable. So you start paying attention to what other people are doing or not doing. And
so I want to tell you about that. So today, so communication is my field of study. I have my degrees in it, which means I suck at it sometimes. And that's why I keep studying, because I really, really must work on expression and needs and things like that specifically. But today, I just didn't feel well. I haven't eaten in like almost 3 days because I literally can't keep it down. I'm better right now in the moment. I still haven't eaten. But today I was in a mood, David. And I went down my spiral, everybody. And then I went down, I was so down. Have you ever seen Yosemite Sam when he's pissed off?
the steam coming out.
That was me, literally in the seat of the truck, hopping. And I want to tell you the awareness that came through at that moment. Because it was Joe that I was like, right? Because I just could. At the moment, I just wanted to, I was just pissed. Oh, I said, and it's not personal. I just want something else to focus on besides my own shit.
Well, at least you were, even when you're down your spiral and you have what I call DTS awareness, that's good.
It was so good.
Because think about how often we've been down our spiral, down in lower vibrational territory. And we all go there from time to time, and you're out of control down there.
Oh my God.
But
Okay.
at least when you're aware, you're not out of control when you're aware, because you're aware of where you are and why you're there.
I enjoyed it, quite frankly.
Yeah, a little trip DTS is nice every once in a while.
And I really wanted to talk about this. I enjoyed being angry for a minute, and I didn't allow myself to stay there. And that's what Taya is going to help y'all do. I observed myself. It was almost comical, if you really want to know.
Yeah, when you catch yourself down there, it is comical.
Oh, Fiore, I love you. And Carrie, I love you too. Oh my God. Well, but Johnny, Merry Christmas. Look, it's the truth.
I'm very amused by Debbie, and she's aware of that. So yeah.
You know what? I'm amused by Debbie. I really am. Seriously, like
you're a colorful, entertaining person. That's why we go live on all these platforms all the time, because people love seeing you and hearing from you.
what I really want people to hear is that, like, it's okay to be angry. Here's what I had to do, though, is I had to, while I was having, I love you, Carrie. Thank you. Isn't it just the freaking awesomeness? I have a pink one too. So I'm having an echocardiogram to follow up from the hyperparathyroid, making sure I don't have too much calcium going. So I'm listening, I'm laying there chatting with the text. Hey, hey, there's our favorite rocker in the house. So I'm laying there and I'm echocardiogram and she's cool, but I'm starting to come back to center and I'm starting to breathe and remember that life is the things that we are experiencing right now in this moment are seriously not, they're so temporary. They're so temporary. And remembering that.
I said the same thing. Only you could rock a tiara and a Santa hat at the same time.
I really love that. You know, everything right now is temporary. There is nothing permanent. And the reason I said my day was I actually am going to request prayers from everybody right now because a very darling young man named Ryan Zwick, my children's cousin, and this little boy was born to also my best friend Kari, who is still alive, and their dad is not. And he's in ICU right now and not doing so hot. And he just graduated nursing school too. It's fascinating. So I just ask that you warriors out there send strong vibes of love. It's his choice, it's his experience and all of that.
A little boost can never hurt anyone, though.
But I sure hope he's choosing to stay, and we really
little boost can never hurt anyone.
Oh, please, come on, you guys! Like last I heard, he's going into heart failure, so we really need to kick it up. And honestly, that's what I meant by when I said that. My tiff earlier was simply about the fact that I'm just in a physically, I just was in a physically poo-poo place, and I'm starting to get out of it right now, but. And David, I almost didn't do this tonight. And I said, oh, hell no. I am going to come on here.
Well, I popped on Facebook and saw that you posted that. And that's why I messaged you and said, hey, do you still want to do this tonight? And
yeah, I don't want to talk about it too much because I will get teary-eyed.
It's okay.
I've known him since before he was born.
Yeah, I was going to say, you've known this person his whole life, and it's.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So from afar, I send lots of love and prayer, and truly, especially to Kari, David. Kari's that friend back when we were in our early 20s, like 23, 24. We used to go to the Marquee to like KNAC night out in LA, rocker chicks. God, do I love that woman. Opportunities are what life presents to us every moment. And today I've had a beautiful roller coaster and I'm feeling pretty good about that.
It's all an experience, and you were certainly doing really well yesterday, and then today you got the news and shifted your vibe a little bit.
It does. I want to say the normal human things. That's BS. That's unfair. But then thank you, because Kaya is like right there to say, this is his experience and the best. Yeah,
there's a spectrum of experiences that humanity has, and we're all aware of that. And expecting life to be equitable and fair is going to disappoint you. Because again, the universe is delivering, but the universe is delivering without judgment, and we're having experiences, and our ego certainly wants to have more of the good stuff and a lot less, if not, completely eliminate the bad stuff. But there's no escaping the bad stuff. And so Taya is about understanding how to experience the unwanted in a very different way than we're taught.
Absolutely.
So it's definitely experiencing it in appreciation of all things, but you don't always start at appreciation. You know, the appreciation journey is very expansive in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
You will find out if something happened to somebody that I deeply cared about. I don't know what my reaction would be until I have that experience. I will tell you, now that I've gotten deeper into the practice, I have really surprised myself at experiences, that things that have happened that I was able to move through in appreciation and joy that I would have never imagined a few years ago that I'd be able to do. But that doesn't mean that I have to do that. That doesn't mean that I'm a bad Taya practitioner if I get triggered down my spiral about it. No, of course not. The messing up and spinning out and having the messy human experience is part of it.
Darn
The
right.
messiness is part of it. And there's things that are going to happen that are going to take us down sometimes. And it's not about the not going down. Oh, I'm not allowed to go down about this, or I'm not allowed to be upset. Well, that's bullshit. Of course, that's not true. So
Mm-hmm.
it's more about, okay, this triggered me. And now what am I going to do with that?
That's it. What are you going to do with that? And that's always if we ask ourselves the question, why is this happening? For me, there's normally, I have something that I think I need to be heard about. Now, that's another thing, David. This idea of being heard, because I'm going to promise you 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be highly disappointed.
If you
So
want to be heard,
if that's my desire,
you're needing to be heard. Yeah.
If I'm
The whole world believes
needing,
they need to be heard. That's why social media is so successful, because
can I
we
tell
got an
you?
internet, and then what did we get? We got chat rooms, and then what did we get? Social media,
Yeah,
which is why Mark Zuckerberg is, building a 57,000 square foot house in Hawaii now.
Jiminy
With an
crickets. What?
underground bunker. I read about it the other day.
Oh, that's too
And
hilarious.
yeah, he's insanely wealthy because people like to be heard. They want to get on and they want to tweet. They want to go on Facebook and share their opinion. Everybody has an opinion about everything. And the interesting thing, I like social media. I like knowing what's kind of seeing what's going on in the world. And every once in a while, I'll find something and I will start to comment. And I have the lovely gift of being dyslexic. So
Okay.
my brain typing and what's actually showing up, autocorrect will inevitably turn it into something else. And that is a wonderful gift, because I mess up enough that I stop and catch myself and think, why am I commenting on something online? Stop. And I always stop myself. I very rarely comment on anything because I realize why. Who needs to hear my brain fart about this post? Nobody does. I don't want to perpetuate more of that. We have too many opinions out there anyway. That's my judgment of all of it. But I love that I catch myself when I, late at night, oh, I'm going to comment on this. No, I don't need to do that. I don't need to comment. Erase, move on to the next thing, forget all about it.
Well,
I have learned to do that with shopping too. I'll get into the vibe of
and fill
shopping.
that card up, and
I
then
love to online shop. Oh my God. I sit in that chair and things come to the door all day long. And I realize that if I'm buying something stupid and I catch myself, I have to step away from it for, a few minutes. I don't even want it anymore.
yes,
When it's time to go back, I am, and I'll tell you, if you're an online shopper, something I found, if you leave things in the cart and go away, they will email you and hound you and make them cheaper sometimes. And then if you really want it, you go back and buy it. The little online shopping tip there from a
oh, I
pro.
love that shopping tip.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, and I love to shop, but I want to talk
But
about
most of the time
need.
I just talk myself out of doing it.
All right, so the need to be heard. Need
Yeah, bring
to
us
be
back
heard.
around to our topic now that I've taken us all over the place.
No, I love that. That's rock and roll, man. The need to be heard. Why the hell is this so important for me in the first place? Does it really matter? I think it's more like the understood than it is the heard.
Well, why do you even need to be understood though?
I don't even know. I'm kind of really debating
My
that
favorite
too.
new
Because
saying is,
all I do
oh,
is
that's
get
just my
pissed.
ego. Oh, that's just
Oh,
my
it's just my
ego.
ego. I love
I say
that.
that all the time. The whole
I
thing with
love
this
that.
guy that was, with the picture that I was talking about earlier. Oh, that's just my ego.
Yeah.
The source version of me doesn't need that. The source version of me doesn't need anything. Doesn't need to buy anything, doesn't need to shop for anything, doesn't need a new shiny whatever,
Yeah.
doesn't need to be heard, doesn't need to be understood, doesn't, but we can't stay there, because then you just, that's the go sit on a mountaintop and meditate your life away and just be source. We didn't come here for that either. But understanding ego source, which do I, that's always this teeter totter. I want more source and less ego.
Yeah.
More source, less ego is my focus, because when I have more source and less ego, life gets so much more fun. I don't need anything, but things show up. I have fun. I have great interactions with other people. The things that are supposed to be scary in life suddenly aren't scary anymore when you're up there.
Correct.
So yeah, I want more of that. But then when I get into the ego and I catch myself there, that's what I do now. That's just my ego. I'm just operating an ego right now. That's all that is. I don't need to be heard. I don't need to type. Yeah, I don't need to do any of this stuff.
Let go of my ego.
That's
let go of my ego. We're gonna do this.
That might be trademarked, so be careful there. Yeah.
We're gonna let go of my ego.
Yeah.
Ow.
I don't know if I can put that on a t-shirt or not, but I love saying it.
I think that's hilarious. Let go of my ego. It's one way. See, but humor and finding ourselves just so less serious is. I personally,
I'm all about if I have what is that thing you do at the first of the year? Resolution. If I have a resolution for the coming new year, I usually don't do resolutions, but if I have one it'll be more fun.
More fun.
Inject more fun into everything. We have an online store for Taya stuff. And I'm not just plugging the online store. We have an online store where you can buy Taya t-shirt, the Taya Practice, Taya, T-Y-A.
Straight out of Taya.
It's nice. You can get these lovely little mugs. Well, not this mug. You have to be a Taya mastermind to get this. But we have Taya mugs. We have all sorts of stuff. Trust your abundance. Remember to trust your abundance. Well, it's all serious stuff. And then the other day, I put something about, I put a picture of a t-shirt that says, I love spiritual shit. I think John Fiore, I think it was John that said, why don't you do a Taya t-shirt?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, we do have Taya t-shirts. Here's the link. You can go get your Taya t-shirt. And I realized, so why don't we have a spiritual shit Taya t-shirt? So now we do. I've got the mock-ups coming. So that I did a men's and women's t-shirts, and I'll do mugs too. I think it says spiritual shit that works, the Taya Practice. A little more fun than just the Taya Practice.
Spiritual shit that works, the Taya. I like that, actually.
Yeah.
Hey, audience, what do you like that? I'm kind of digging
spiritual shit that works.
Absolutely. That, and it would.
And I also did a woo-woo shit that works.
Well, earlier, you started this with your buddy our Taya
graduate that's doing very well. Yes.
And I love that. And your ego and all of that. And
I love that I'm happy for him without really being upset that he's not, crediting Taya for his, I don't need that.
Right. And
maybe he is, and I don't know it, but I don't need that. I do like that I'm there now where I can see it and he is doing great. Good for him.
Mm-hmm. The idea that we can remove the attachment from what something needs to look like, including what it, when they're leaving. But here's the thing. There is a part of ego that's really good. The part that brings you the confidence, the part that brings you strength, the part that, allows you to be yourself. And Taya helped me do that. It helped me do that a lot. And also to be accepting of myself when I'm not in a space where I'm lovely. Yesterday, I said I need to be around no humans except for David. That's the only human. I was right there.
We hung out for like 2 hours online on Zoom.
Yeah, I was
fun.
Community and connection is so vital for us as human beings. If for no other reason, just join the community. Just to be around folks that you can chat with and talk to. David and I just hanging out, not talking about anything, because we don't get all into stories, because life isn't about the story. It's about your vibration. It's about how you're viewing the thing you're calling your story. And when you are self-aware, what I am discovering is that it's a much better space to make decisions from. Taya also helps me stay in the present instead of dwelling in the past because of the detuning process. My hanging out with David is therapeutic to my heart just because I love this man beyond words. God, I'm grateful for you, David, and all the stuff that you've brought out for everybody. Seriously, we've known each other a minute. And the way I handle things today versus how I used to are huge. That's what Taya does. And plus the community, though, and the connection. David and I have connection, and that's heart connection. I have a lot of heart friends, but Taya also has a lot of heart people. In fact, all of Taya is. We're all here trying to be the best version of ourselves we can be. And for goodness sake, I don't even understand not taking advantage of it when it's right in your face. Buy the damn book. Serious,
Oh,
man.
this is a plug for the book. I love it. Well, the
No,
book,
I never know
I
when I'm
love the fact
plugging
that the book
anything.
it is all of it. It is all of it, all of it, all of it. I keep talking about that everywhere that I talk about the book. It's 476 pages. And no, you don't
Yeah.
have to read the whole thing in one sitting, but
Well, I'd like to share how Joe and I are choosing to digest it. So we're digesting it in the mornings, 10 to 15 minutes. And tomorrow morning we have exercises, the very first one. Haven't went ahead in this, okay? We are going at this as though we've never ever seen it before. So I'm pretty excited about that. So I'm digesting it slowly, and it's a big book. It may take all year. It doesn't really matter. What matters is tomorrow I'm super excited because it's about exercises. It's about putting into practice those things to change your autonomic nervous system to auto response of appreciation. Did you know that's what the practice does? As a matter of fact, if
yeah,
you
I
all
know what
need,
it is. We don't get scientific in the book at all, by the way.
I'm
You
getting scientific right now.
that's Debbie's department. She gets all scientific about things, and I don't. I like to simplify, simplify, simplify. Here's what it does, but this is how you actually do it.
Right.
This is how you do it. And the Taya practice is about raising your default vibration in a systematic way for the rest of your life.
Absolutely. It's about appreciating others. It's about being of service out there in this world. It's about who can I be of service to in gratitude.
Well, here's the interesting thing. If
Mhm.
you hear that, and I don't know, we're all on different, places in our journey for sure. And if you hear that and think, well, I'm not looking to be in service of anyone, I understand that. I used to be like that. I completely understand that. But what I found was, first of all, I used to keep this part of me hidden. The spiritual woo woo side of me was very private and very hidden. And I was Mr. Corporate because I didn't want to be judged for being a spiritual kook. And then
Okay.
I practice and practice and I created the practice for myself, and life got better. Things got better. Things got really magical for me. And then I got to a point where I couldn't keep it to myself. And so I started sharing it. And I never in a million years would have thought I would be creating a mindset practice for other people and teaching it to other people. I would have never. I knew I was a channel. I thought, well, I want to be like Esther Hicks. She's the
Mhm.
Beyonce of channeling. She just shows up, channels. That's it. She doesn't do interviews. She doesn't do ads. She doesn't do anything. People adore Abraham, and she gets up, brings Abraham out, and that's what she does. And she spends her life traveling, doing that, and bringing in millions of
Mhm.
dollars in the process, by the way. So I thought, that looks like a pretty damn good life. And if I can channel like she can channel, why don't I do this? But I had a solid intention not to copy Abraham. Abraham's great. I don't need to copy Abraham. I'm not trying to be the next Abraham. So when I started channeling publicly, I quit consuming Abraham. The thing that Esther did for me is she made it palatable. She made it something that I said, hey, this isn't so weird after all. This is really kind of cool. I really like this. So vibration goes higher and higher and higher with the practice. My intention is to share this with the world in a unique way and let it unfold and just be what it's going to be. And that's what happened. And what came from all of that is, yes, the channeling is there, but we created a mindset practice that allows you to take what the stream is giving us and apply it in your life systematically, because we need a system. You can sit and listen to amazing messages and read books and go to seminars and do this stuff all the time. But if it's not teaching you a system to systematically start implementing it in your life, you're going
Mhm.
to default back to your original created operating system that you created. But your original operating system was created by, part of it was your indoctrination into your religion and family beliefs as a child. A lot of it was created by you, by your past traumas. The
Mhm.
never again vibe. I'm never going to be treated that way again. I'm never going to experience that again. You build all these little walls of never again. Part of it just your choices, the things that resonate with you, that are unique to you. So you've created your own unique operating system. And if you love your operating system, that means you love your life the way that it is, because that's what's delivering it. If you are dissatisfied with your life, then you might want to think about changing your operating system. And it's not completely getting rid of everything that you've ever done. We call it an upgraded, let me get it on camera here, an upgraded operating system for your life.
True.
You're up just the way Apple, if you have an Apple device, God knows they're constantly upgrading the operating system. Always, new update, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. So you have a core operating system, and how do you bring more universal law in and get the matrix out of it? Because the matrix is the thing that's driving your anxiety. The matrix is the thing that's teaching you to fear and worry about your credit score and your appearance and what other people think of you. And I'm not supposed to age according to the matrix. Aging is bad, even though we're all doing it. I'm never supposed to die according to the matrix, even though we all do that. So that's where all that stuff comes from. So how do you detune that and allow more source, more universal law, more magic? And it's this detuning that we teach in the Taya practice. But the only way that I know to implement something like that is to systematically practice it. And when you fall off the wagon, you get immediate evidence that you're off the wagon. You're triggered down your spiral, as Debbie talks about being today. And then it's okay, how do I go back up? Now I got triggered. I'm upset. It's understandable that I'm upset, but I don't want to stay parked here because I'm not offering the other person, if you're upset about another person or myself, a whole lot when I'm in low vibration.
Absolutely right.
That's when you say prayers. Well, guess what? A prayer in belief is pretty damn high vibration. That's trusting your abundance.
Well, I was really honest about myself being a kind of a butthead, honestly. And
we all are. We all do. I was a butthead when I'm like needing this dude to acknowledge that,
You're so funny.
Taya's changed my life.
So what I did, and I'm going to share right now, a trick and a tool for Taya. So I had the most unique experience the other day. Joe and I went and cut down our own Christmas tree, which you can do here in Colorado. And I was super excited about this because I don't know, I geek out about a lot. And we get up there.
Funny, I've done it. It's a fun experience to chop down your own tree.
It's that, and we picked pine cones and all that. Just being there in nature, we're the only ones there with our dogs, and in those moments, those are your experiences. That is what you can inject your soul with. You can override. And the reason I'm saying this is that on the way, it wasn't flowing as I'd like it to flow. And I realized I can have a damn good time no matter what. And I instantly.
Yeah, whenever you're thinking that, you're not appreciating. And what do you do to flip the switch? What can I appreciate right now?
And I looked out that window.
Source. And Source is like, yeah, we're here all the time. We don't leave you. We don't forsake you. You shut us out. Here we are right now. You appreciate something and we light up for you. And then here's something else to appreciate. And here's something else to appreciate. And then it just starts building.
And today, when I got back after my echocardiogram, I started decorating the tree we cut down because I hadn't, like I've said, I've not been well. Now I'm, coming out of that. That's what I did. We spray painted the pine cones silver, and oh my gosh, it was just too much fun.
Sounds like a Hallmark movie in the making there.
I swear to you, it's like life happens. And
was Joe wearing flannel? Were you driving an old truck?
No. It was driving.
You've ever watched a Hallmark Christmas movie? It's always
the dude. Cute. That's
the
cute.
Dude in the old truck, and he's wearing flannel, and he also is a secret billionaire, and they fall in love. And
that's super cute. No, that wasn't it. It was no, but it was our Dodge Ram LeMary,
which is a pretty badass truck. Yeah.
Oh, it's such a cool truck, dude.
Yeah. No, it's good. I like it.
Thing's loaded, rock solid, man. I'm going to tell you, we got this because we were moving here. We bought the house here. And I'm like, by the way, it's called the Gratitude Ranch. If any of you all are out.
Yeah, you're a rancher now. So you need
That's great. Great Sand Dunes area in Alamosa, Colorado. We are the top rated Airbnb, B&B, whatever you want to call it. And we spoil you rotten. Plus we have
if you want a winter wonderland experience, go stay with Debbie at the Gratitude Ranch.
Seriously.
It looks like a freaking postcard. If you're friends with Debbie or Joe on Facebook, the pictures from there look like a postcard.
but that's, you know, Taya, that's manifesting, is making things happen. And you know, the thought to me that hit me today was, whatever it is I'm not loving, I have the power to change. Whatever it is that I don't think is for my benefit, I need to see it as an opportunity and shift how I'm looking at things. And the reason I can do this like that, like this, that fast, is because our nervous system, our brain is pliable, it's malleable, proven. Look it up. Do so. Anybody out there ever learned to drive a car? And now when you get in the car, what do you really think about? Autonomic nervous system. How does that happen? Practice.
Yes.
That's it.
Repetition.
And start with one thing. Don't make it freaking hard. Get the book. Go join me tomorrow. Whoever's got the book. We're going to be at the first exercise in the book. Join me tomorrow and do your exercise. And then when David and I come back, maybe we can all report what that exercise looked like. Who's down? Let me know.
Yeah, that would be good, because the book can be like a living. And I'm telling people to get the paperback. You can get a hardcover. It takes forever to come in. You can get a paperback in a couple of days. You can get the Kindle definitely quickly. But I think the best use of this is to use it like a living sort of workbook, where you can tab pages and go through, because the 4 pillars are up front, and then there's some case studies. Then you go into tools, and there's exercises in the book. So take some time with it. It's not something that you're going to just plow through and just get it all in one reading. So don't be intimidated by 476 pages. You know, the introduction and the pillars are most of it, and that's just a little part up front. The rest of it in the back is, okay, how do I spend the rest of my life making this my life?
It's kind of the deal. And you know, the cool thing is that working the practice is like, you have 4 pillars. And if you think about pillars, they're put into this foundation, and the foundation is source energy. You know?
Well, the 4 pillars are all about source, all of it. And the 4 pillars, the reason we created 4 pillars is so that it doesn't become something else.
Right.
It's just that. It's the 4 pillars. That's all it will ever be. It's never going to be rules and sins and punishment, and it's never going to be any of that stuff. That's all human created stuff. We have plenty of that out there. We don't need any more. The 4 pillars, like you said, it builds the foundation for you to have an expansive life journey of more source.
More source. Well, let's talk about connection and source, because one of the things I observe with if I'm in the ego, I am not in connection.
Yeah, and there's a spectrum of that. You can have a little ego. You know, again, it's like this.
Yeah.
And if you're at the very top of your spiral, you're pure source. But the stream has said the top of your spiral and the bottom of your spiral are both exit points from physical. You will exit if you hold yourself at the top in a prolonged way, you're going to exit physical. If you hold yourself at the bottom in a prolonged way, you're going to exit physical. Nothing wrong with that, but just be aware that we're not meant to hold ourselves, at an extreme on the spiral. The whole point of being physical is to be up there sometimes and know what that's like, but be continually drawn down into your ego so that you have a physical experience with desires and challenges and overcoming challenges. That's how we expand our consciousness. Not just, oh, love and light. I'm only love and light. That's all I am. I never judge. I never have any evil thoughts. I'm a perfect human being. No, that's not true. Nobody's having that experience.
I love the fact that I'm just so blunt about life. And not saying how you feel, not stepping into your own power. That's where depression and victim lie and all those things. Why play small, man? Raise your damn standards. Kick it up. Pull your damn bootstraps up. Let's roll. I was supposed to get him a copy. I feel terrible right now, David. David Reed Watson just bought a copy in the house.
Thank you, David Reed Watson.
Rock on.
So check back here. Let us know how you're progressing through it and doing the exercises. And maybe Debbie will start a little Little book club.
Actually, David started a Power of Eight one time, and I think that doing a Taya book club would be the funnest thing ever. I really do. So,
So David Watson did a Power of Eight?
he sure did. He did a
Because
Power of
there's a group of people in Taya that did a Circle of Eight Taya practice where they all hold each other accountable for their continued practice. So yeah, it's interesting.
It's based on a book by Lynn McTaggart, and the Power of Eight is eight or more together, and everybody holding intention and prayer as in meditation. Walt Thiessen also did a Power of Eight as well. It's extremely powerful. So it's interesting that there was a circle of eight.
Yeah, I'm sure it came from
That's
that. I'm sure it came from that. But yeah,
well,
I thought it was really cool that they did that.
I think it's beautiful that they did that. And I think that exploring what a book club could look like is a grand idea because community and connection is everything. But before that we go heading out, I want to talk about something. I want to actually have David channel this in really quick. What does one do that is disconnected from source? Or is that just their own, that it just happens when it happens?
Well, no one is continually disconnected from source.
No,
even
no,
the
no,
people
no.
that are operating
Right.
at the bottom. But certainly
Sure.
if you feel more disconnected than connected, if you're living in anxiety and fear and that sort of thing, and plenty of people are, the cure to that, really the simple cure to that is meditation.
Yeah.
Because when you're trying to think positive thoughts and it goes against your belief system, it just feels false.
Mm-hmm.
You're sitting there trying and trying and trying. And when you're trying to quiet your mind down to nothing and you're judging the experience as I'm not doing this right, or it's not lasting long enough, or I'm no good at that, well, then you're also sort of shooting yourself in the foot.
Mm-hmm.
When I talk about meditation, I'm talking about close your eyes, a few quick breaths, you feel a sliver of relief. You've just meditated, you've just accessed source.
That was so good.
That's the source within you that is there. And when you practice it, you build it, you get more of that going. Maybe you do a second, maybe you do 2 seconds, maybe you do 3 and you keep going from there and learn to really, I really savor that still to this day. As much as I do it, as much as I allow it, I love to just close my eyes, breathe in through my nose, hold that breath for just a moment, and then breathe slowly out through my mouth. Feel that instant relief and understand that relief is source. That is the source of all creation in you. That is, it never leaves you. It's always there. You're just allowing it. You're
Yes.
quieting everything else that's going on down just enough to access that, even if it's just for a little sliver of time. Now, here's the interesting thing, too. We all get there naturally from time to time. Of course we do. And I talk about low thought activities. When you're in the shower and you love that hot water hitting your back or wherever it's hitting you, and you really just appreciate it in that moment and you feel a little better.
Yeah.
Same thing. I used to drive these long drives. I used to have, I lived in Seattle and I worked in Canada part-time. And so I'd have to drive up, I think it was I-5 into Canada. And it's a beautiful drive and kind of monotonous because you're just driving straight at the same speed,
Yeah.
and I would find myself appreciating the beauty around me and just forget and just be transported for a period of time. And then all of a sudden, these amazing thoughts and ideas just start dropping in.
Yes.
And you think,
Absolutely.
God, I need to write this down or I need to record it on something. There was even a car in the 80s where you could like record thoughts. I don't know why they still don't do that. Maybe it caused accidents or something, but there was like a button above and you could push the button. I think it was a Camaro and you could record your thoughts. It was really
Really?
cool. I
That's a
wish I
trip.
had that sometimes because these amazing things come in the shower and when I'm driving. Ironing for some people is like that. It's
Yeah.
very cathartic to, low thought activities that take your focus down to something that you do regularly. So you're not having to think about what you're doing, but you have to focus on it. You can't completely disconnect from driving. You'll have a wreck or ironing or even in the shower, that low thought activity is doing the same thing for you. So those are ways to access source and it's always there. And don't take that little improved feeling for granted. Somebody scientific would say, well, of course, hot water is heating your muscles and your, whatever. Well, no, it's source. I'm sorry, scientist. It is source that you're accessing in that moment because all better feeling is always found in source, always. Because
Always.
you're calming your ego. Ego has the opposite effect. Ego is going to have some desires that might feel good, but that's fleeting. And then what ego does most of the time is that whole comparison thing.
Oh
You shouldn't
yeah,
be experiencing this. It shouldn't be that way. The matrix tells you you're supposed to be doing this and you're not receiving it. So you should not be. That should not be is where all the suffering resides.
I
So we're
agree.
detuning the should not be. We're allowing more source.
Absolutely. Straight out of Taya. Let go my ego. Seriously.
All these new words, these new terms that you're coming up with. I love it.
Well, when I got back and we were decorating the tree and then spraying the pine cone silver, and actually I was standing there. This is how this looks. So, mind you, I said how I was feeling a little bit before that. I had been working all day on trying to feel better. So, I'm thinking it would be really cool to spray paint these silver. And then Joe goes out to the garage, comes back and brings back a silver can of spray paint. I'm like, oh. So I had the coolest silver metallic pine cones hanging on the trees. It's great. The tree and it's too tall, so we couldn't put the angel on it. So she's in the tree because that's how that is. There's nothing traditional about this whatsoever.
Your unique tree.
It's eclectic. It's hippie. I guess.
Well, this year, I usually decorate the tree, and I always want it. My formula with a tree is that I want the outside to be sort of designer-ish. You know how I am.
Mm-hmm.
And I want the inside to be all the special ornaments. I want them all there, but I want them kind of hidden. I love to like stand and look inside the tree and see, oh, that thing from 1992 is up in there. Well, this year I couldn't decorate the tree because I was still laid up from you saw me, and we put the tree up in November this year, early November, and Michael did the whole thing, and he just put you saw the tree, didn't you?
I did.
He just put everything on the tree. And it's a lot of stuff, and it's a whole lot of stuff, and I love it. I love that we have this tree that just has all this stuff.
It's beautiful.
All these memories, his ornaments, my ornaments, his mother's ornaments are on there, and it's just packed.
Oh, I am
and it's
so
whole. You can just look anywhere and find a memory in there. I love that, and there's nothing designer about it at all.
I absolutely love it, and coming back and decorating the tree was a low thought activity. I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. Our choice is you either stay where you're at or you figure out what you can do to get your ass out of it.
Well, I love that you just found a place for the angel, that you didn't get all caught up in, oh no, the angel doesn't fit and the ceiling's too low, all that stuff. Yeah. How much suffering do we create for ourselves in that stupid comparison and all of that should not be business? Because I try to stay out of the should not be stuff.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Anytime you're suffering, stop and think about it. I'm suffering right now.
Why?
Because I'm labeling something as this shouldn't be happening, but it is. I've manifested it. This is my pile of shit that I created. Maybe I should appreciate it and celebrate it, and then it won't be a pile of shit anymore.
That's how that works. And that's exactly what I've been doing all day. In and out, in and out, in and out. But it's beautiful, and it's messy, and it's not pretty, and sometimes it's ugly crying. Like that. Say what? So what? If we start living our lives without all the baggage and bondage, imagine the creative possibilities that could lie ahead for you. Imagine the greatness that will come from you because you're allowing that to happen. Source creation through you out. That's what David's done here with Taya. Get the book. I'm done now because I'm just going to plug away. Get the book.
You go. Yep. I've got the link up. This is the book, The Taya Practice and Upgrading System for Your Life. Yeah. And we do have a link that I will post if it's still, there we go. There's the link. You can go get your copy, and we will be off next week for the holidays. Back the week after that. So the first week of January, we're back on Thursday night, and I will be starting to channel again on here.
I'm digging that. That's going to be so much fun.
If you want to interact directly with the stream, this is the place to do it.
Yeah. I'm so excited about that.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays. Yeah, it's definitely going to be the old days. And you guys, there's going to be the new days with new information and new stuff coming through. More ways for us to appreciate life and expand our consciousness, expand our heart. And that, to me, when you say expand consciousness, it's expanding our heart. So,
And if you're around for the holidays and you need a community connection, go to the Tie Practice Facebook group. That's a great place. The TYA practice, if you're not in there, request to join. We'll let you in a few hours, if not a few days, depending on who's at the helm. But we'll get you in. I'll make sure everybody gets in for the holidays. So if you're bored or if you're just tired of your family and you want to hang out with some spiritual people and talk about this geek out on the spiritual shit, go to the Tie Practice group, join and post and go in there and be active in there. That's your community. It's a global community for people that are into this Taya stuff.
absolutely.
There you go.
I love that.
All right.
See you next year.
Everybody have a fantastic holiday. Merry
Happy New
Christmas.
Year.
Happy holiday. Debbie, if I don't talk to you again, I love you. Have a fantastic
you,
holiday. Enjoy yourself.
I will talk to you again.
Say hello to Joe, and I'm sure we'll talk again, but bye, everybody.
Bye.